Welcome to Sensational Views. This is your girl, Sensational. Well, if you didn't hear, it looks like Brittany Renner and Kevin Gates are divorced. It only took 52 days. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 52 days. Now, I know most seen this coming, but I couldn't have guessed it was going to be in 52 days. This kind of reminds me of when Kim got married to that guy, that basketball guy, Chris, I believe his last name was Humphreys. That was a short period of time, as well as getting married and divorced. I'm trying to think, did was Kim's shorter than Brittany's? Let me check and see. Let me look it up. How long was Kim and Chris Humphrey married? Oh, Kim and Chris Humphrey was married for a total of 72 days. So it looks like Brittany and Kevin Gates beat them and won the who got divorced quicker. Um, all I can say is, Brittany, please stop trying to get into relationships. She needs to heal. I will go ahead and show you the clip on when she did an interview with this guy, and it looks like it was at a BET Awards. And he did a quick interview, and that's when she spilled the beans on her being divorced from Kevin.
Yeah. Are you guys married? Married? Or is this like a yeah? I don't know. How does this? I mean, first of all, Kevin's the best. You got to keep her. He's a great guy. Very, very, very. Is he still? Are you guys? Is he going? Did you release his semen retention?
Okay, first of all, you guys like 3 questions. So,
Okay. Well, first things first. He was doing semen retention last time I saw him. Has the retention been lifted?
Okay, well, that's a question you'd have to ask him.
Okay.
But we got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced.
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant because then he would be responsible, right? And then also in those 90 days, it's for reconciliation because Allah wants you to stay married. And then during those 90 days, you are not to entertain anybody romantically. So what I will say is that Islam has made my life a lot easier. I think even with this transition and things changing,
Right.
honestly, it's like I don't think anybody gets married to not stay married. So I think my biggest thing for me is this is a nice 90-day reset, just focusing on myself and pouring into myself. And what I also will add is that I followed my heart, and that's more than what most people can say in this world. And I have no shame in that. That's why I'm here. BET Awards. As you can see, I'm out here on this blacktop by myself.
Well, there you have it, right out of her own mouth. 52 days, it's over, and it looks like, I guess, with their religion, 90 days. 90 days to make sure that she's not pregnant. And then I guess if they wanted to reconcile, they could. So, to me, that's saying that it is a possibility that he can come back in and woo her back into this relationship. I hope she doesn't take him back. I hope she continues on her path of, being Islamic and going further in her future and leaving this guy behind because he's no good for her. Um, Kevin Gates, this is what I would call somebody who has a familiar spirit. Like, there's guys that are just emotionally draining, and Kevin Gates is one of those people. Now, I don't know him personally, but I just know when I can see a pattern of stuff. And he seems to have the same spirit of, let's see, people like Ray J. And another example is, what's this guy? Scrappy. He's another guy that's like that. They're just they're like way too sensitive. They're like just overly emotional men. Like, they don't even give the woman a chance to be able to express their emotions and feelings. It's like they're too they'll jump the gun. Like, they're too busy crying and filling up a bucket of tears before you're able to drop a tear. They're running to the tissue box before you're able to get to the tissue box. They're just way over emotional. And she would have known this if she would have took a look at his I don't even have a clue. Her current wife, I don't even think they got a divorce. Um, but I think her name was Jerica. She even explained in another interview how he is like this. Kevin Gates is. He's a lot. And as far as with a woman, it's only so much you can take. And it's the same thing that happened with Scrappy, for example. I give you when they were filming Love and Hip Hop. And that was one thing that I noticed. It was like he made this whole big scene where he was at the time, um, he was dating, I can't think of her name right now, but he was dating the mother of his kids, and she had to go to work. And he made this whole big scene, like a kid himself, where he was having this asthma attack. And I'm trying to think, if you have an asthma attack, you're doing a whole lot of talking and a whole lot of moving for somebody having an asthma attack. You have medical issues. You need to go immediately to the hospital, the ER, the emergency room. And that's the same thing she was saying, and he wanted her to basically cater to him and feel sorry for him and stuff like that. And it seems like that's something that he pulls in everyone in his relationship. Even when he married Bambi, that was the same thing he was saying. What came up with her too. It moved on to the next relationship. It's not these women. It's these um draining, overly excessive emotional men. And then, when you're in the relationship with them, you go, okay, when they do it the first time, these are men that they cry. And there's nothing wrong with a man crying, but I'm talking about overly emotional. They're always crying. And what I like to call them whiny boos. They have these situations, stuff that they're going through in life, and or stuff that they're going through for at work, and instead of having a conversation or they're talking about it, I whether you complain about something to whine about it. And it's different. They're whining about it. And I call them whiny boos. They're whiny boos. They're gonna whine, 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 whine. Whine and cry in your ear about it. And there's no um as a woman, I like a solution based man. And there's no solution to it. They just whine about it. I don't want to hear no whining. So, yeah, and then you get the first time it's like, okay, he's going through some things, he's crying, you're there to pat him on the back and, give him emotional support. And then they do it again. It's like every 3 to 5 business days, they having this emotional meltdown. And generally you get immune to that. And it's like, okay, they're constantly doing this. It's like a kid. You get hip to what they're doing. And so you're like, okay, I'm numb to it. I'm not gonna pay them any attention. And then you kind of get this like hard shell on you where you're not giving any of that intention anymore. And then this is where they get their little feelings hurt or whatever. And that's when they go and which I'm sure with Kevin, he's probably continue cheating or whatever. I'm just speculating. I do not know if this is true or not, but I'm just speaking in general. Go to the next woman he's messing with, some side woman, and start doing and to boost his ego and somebody who because they'll change their personality with the new woman. So, he might can go and play this, tough exterior with her, and she can boost his ego over there. Or, if he able to let his guard down with her or whatever, he could cry over there. She don't care because he's only there for a couple of hours and then he has to go back home. So, and so nobody has time for that. It's truly, truly draining. And like I said, these are the same essence, the same spirit of beings, just in a different vessel. So that's why I just put all of those type of men that I give you example in the same box, and that's the Ray J's and the Scrappy. Even Ray J, if you go back and look, when I think this was during he got COVID, during COVID time, he had got COVID. And after all that stuff, even as to today's date, he puts his wife through all of those things that he's done to her by even when they first got together, him pushing her in the pool, him leaving her at a I think it was at the BET Awards as well, at one of those awards show, and just leaving her and the kids and flying off, and always disrespecting her. Um, After all that, when she gets tired of it, and then all of a sudden he gets sick in the hospital, then he thinks somebody's supposed to run by his bedside like they automatically just forgot what you did to them. And it's like, oh, okay. And then want to cry, jump on the internet, cry, and want, oh, and play victim. Oh, she did this or whatever. Like I said, those men are draining. And it's nothing that can come out of that. Um, but that's just my opinion on the piece. Let me know what you think about this 52-day divorce. I just wish she could have just went on ahead, and because it just seems very lustful. They were just lusting at each other. I know she said that they were trying to hold off or sustain from sex before the marriage or whatever. They should just went on ahead. I'm sure that they had probably relations before, but they should just went on ahead, and she could have just moved in with him for 52 days. That's just what it's not even. That's not a whole, even a whole 2 months. Yeah, she could definitely moved in with him and did this whole experience and find out how he was then, and she wouldn't even have to worry about a divorce. But you let me know what you think about this 52-day debacle of foolishness. Yeah, but with that, I'll see y'all later because I got things to do.
Let's get it, let's go! Hurry up, get the news. Hurry up, I have things to do. This is just my sensation moments.